Y'all remember that movie Deep Impact from the 90s? I think it was like 98 or something. And it was about a comet that was coming to Earth. And it came out about the same time as Armageddon. But Deep Impact had their scientists go to the comet to take care of it. And then their scientists died. You know? And a lot of people called it melodramatic drivel. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. How do you make the end of the world boring? All that blah, 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 blah. I tell you what, not quite saying that Deep Impact, if it were to come out today, that it would have a better reception, because we still want kaboom, kaboom. Our little monkey brains want to constantly be entertained all the time. But, oh God. Calling On the Edge of Gone a Deep Impact in book form is an insult to Deep Impact. God, let's get into it. On the Edge of Gone is about an autistic mixed race girl whose dad is black and mom is white, and they are waiting at their apartment in some town in Amsterdam that I'm not even gonna bother to try and pronounce the name of, for her transgender sister Iris to come home. Now listen, circling back to Deep Impact, at least Elijah Wood and Lily Sobieski got on the dirt bike and went up the fucking hill. They weren't like Tay Leone and whoever played her father, just sitting there waiting for the waves to come in. Basically my point is, why, my guy, for the love of God, are the fucking bunkers in the ground? Take a sip, it's fine. I'm one of those crazy bitches that drinks wine with ice, and I have this thing of unironic or ironic Christmas shirts, even though I'm not a papa. And this says Merry Blessed Christmas Obsessed, and I'm a Halloween spooky bitch, but I just sometimes like to be quirky because I'm different and unique. But anyway, they dilly-dally way too long. Mom ends up finally going when there's just barely enough time to go the however many kilometers to their thing, their bunker, so that they can maybe meet up with Denise and maybe meet up with Dad. And I'm gonna get this thing with Dad done right now. Dad could have been pre-dead in this book and it wouldn't have changed a thing, because Dad is spoken about. But is Dad spoken about in I Remember a Time Fondly, when he worked extra hard after Mom lost her job due to her substance abuse problem, when he gave up his free time to work hard for us to get Christmas presents? No, Dad was just Dad. Anyway, they luck out and happen to run into either Else, E-L-S, or Layla. Now, Else is Denise's gay teacher, and Else's wife, I think, has a broken leg. It doesn't fucking matter who actually has the broken leg, because injuries in this universe don't mean shit 5 seconds after they happen. I want to show you something, and hopefully this doesn't violate TOS. This is from a bunny rabbit. It's like a week old. It hurts when I look at it. It hurts when I don't look at it. It hurts when I touch it. It hurts when I don't touch it. It hurts when it's in a long sleeve, a short sleeve. Shit hurts. It burns and it itches. But Else or Layla, I don't remember, and it's not important. Gonna get a broken leg, and then it's not even mentioned later. When Layla gets on the Generation ship, which God knows why Else or Layla weren't just... Why were they trying to get to the Generation ship on a fucking motorbike? This person is supposed to be an educator. Like, does your brain get smart and your head gets dumb for real? God damn it. I'm gonna swear a lot. But they luck out because of Denise's gay teacher, they go ahead and they get to be on the Generation ship that's due to go to these twin planets eventually. When? Mind your business. But they lift off. Like I said about Elijah Wood and Leelee Sobieski, they lift off in enough time for the comet to make impact. Apparently it's like a little smack on the Earth, and it just sort of causes a bunch of potholes and everything. It's like, Corinne, girl, sit down. One girl to girl, why couldn't you just watch some 90s disaster films? I mean, Earthquake, that was some made-for-TV straight-to-video. Volcano, that was just ripping off Dante's Peak. And even though those cringy straight-to-TV network television premiere ripoffs of more popular intellectual properties or whatever the fuck, even though they were like not as good, they still had more to go with than this stuff. I'm getting a lot of memories of watching disaster movies with my family. Whatever. Anyway, they get on the Generation ship. It lifts off long enough to go back down, and Denise meets Max. And Max is smitten with her and compliments her hair and whatever. And then he says, I want to keep you on the ship, so, you know, go meet with the engineer and make yourself useful. Go help in the kitchen and make yourself useful. I'm going to call her Miriam because I don't know how to pronounce her name. I believe it is spelled Marjam, so it could be Marjam. But Marjam sounds weird, and I do believe in Amsterdam and similar countries, the boy's name is not Jan, it's Jan, like a Y. So if you're that actor, Joseph Sumner, you're probably actually Joseph Sumner. I don't know what the Amsterdam accent is, but it feels good to say Joseph, Yuri, whatever. So Denise tries to make herself useful. Mom tries to make herself high. Denise gets told, don't take a shower because our sources are limited. And until we're sure we can get up in the air, nobody can take a shower at all. I do believe that is forgotten about just right after something I'm going to get to, because Denise stays pretty goddamn clean through the end of the world. So anyway, Mom takes a shower and fucks it sideways for her and Denise. And Denise, instead of just getting out into the world and going to look for her sister, I'm sorry if you hear weird noises. The cats insisted on being in here. But anyway, she gets out there and she waits for her mom. And then instead of them going and like trying to find Iris and whatever, they get a flat tire and Mom's like, you know what's great? I'm gonna take a nap and sleep off whatever I've just ingested. That sounds like a swell idea. So Denise pops on over to the damaged, ruined airport and is all like, I'm gonna read an article about cats, because Denise used to work at the way station at a shelter and whatever. And then Sane and Fatima are Max's friends, and I can't remember who was kind of snotty towards Denise, but one of Max's friends that's a girl says something like, really, it's the end of the world and you're over here reading about cats? The rest of us are like pillaging this airport for supplies. Like, make yourself useful. So anyway, she feels really sad, so she goes away. She clarifies that she's autistic, and Sana is like, so? Fatima's like, oh, well, no, it makes sense because some nonsense. I don't honestly know. Anyway, Denise goes off to fuck off to some corner of the airport to think about life and to think about her dad and think about Iris and think about how Iris had this job organizing musical festivals and everything like that. and how great and wonderful she was. And she has a little bit of a cool memory, and she thinks about putting the cats down because, you know, the comet's coming and people can't keep their cats, and how sad it was. And we only see some real actual feeling from Denise when she's thinking about cats. It's actually kind of annoying. So here comes a guy and he's like, tsunami, tsunami. And then Denise, instead of like, I better fucking run, stops and is like, but we're 20 kilometers from the shore. I looked it up. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I do believe it is about 12 or 16 miles in freedom units. I don't know about you, but if the sea was 12 or 16 miles over that way and a comet had hit, yeah, end of deep impact. I'm fucked. I better run. So while Denise was trying to make herself useful on the ship, either that day or the day before, I can't remember, time is irrelevant. Whatever. I could have used time is irrelevant, the birds or the bourgeoisie, but I will use to that in another video. Moving along. I'm glad I think I'm funny. But anyway, Denise goes and she gets on the ship, and she manages to get on the ship based on knowing where this porthole is, and she gets everybody on the ship except for a girl named Michelle and Max's sister. We barely knew any of them, and we didn't give a fuck about either of them. I don't remember who Michelle is. It's not the teacher's wife, because she comes back much later in the thing. Her name's Layla, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. Who's Michelle? I don't know. I don't care. So the three, Max, Fatima, Sane, Denise and her mom, so it's actually like 5 or so, I don't know, I don't have time to count, I don't care, are all in Captain Van Sand's quarters. And he says, all right, you had some quick thinking, unfortunately not quick enough, because Miriam is gone, and we lost Michelle, and we lost 10 barrels because you were trying to get back. And the barrels hold their supplies for like seeds and canned food and whatever for when they get to where they're going and they can have kids and whatever. You would think they would want this ship filled with young blood if they're going to go live on a different planet. You know, instead of just a bunch of old foreign dignitaries whose fertility window is gone. So anyway, Captain Van Sand says, your mom can't stay here. Denise has this minute reaction of being more excited to stay on the ship and not really giving a shit that her mother's living in a waterlogged airport with broken windows and a big chunk missing out of the ceiling. And the water levels of this tsunami are inconsistent as fuck, because like I said about the injuries not making anything, the damage to the ship, the thrusters, are they rusted out from being in water for like 8 to 10 days? No. Does Denise just get a 3D raft printed by her buddy Max, and then she rows to her apartment in that town I don't know how to pronounce? And I swear, could be wrong, but I'm like 75% positive, Denise said she lived on the 4th floor. And she had a safe full of food and ketamine and medical supplies. I think I remember now. The safe was supposed to be there for Iris in case she came back. She would have medical supplies and ketamine. I don't understand. Anyway, she runs into 2 people, Samira and Norden. Now, Samira and Norden knock her out of her 3D printed raft, and a piece of rebar goes through her arm. Doesn't matter. Samira and Norden are medical experts, and they dress the wound, and even though it's full of salty fucking seawater, it's like there's no pain mentioned. I don't know, I'm not really smart on the whole concept of autism. It's a very broad spectrum, and I don't understand a lot of it, but I'm pretty sure autistic people feel freaking pain. My God. Anyway, Denise is going and she says, hey, oh, if I can get you some food and supplies, and you can take what's in this safe back to whoever you're helping, can I have your water scooter? Now, I imagined a water scooter being a lot like a jet ski. And I don't know a lot of things about operating a jet ski, but I'm pretty sure you need 2 hands to operate them. So Denise has her arm in a cast most of the time. What's she doing? How's she operating this jet ski? Or water scooter? It's not said it's operated by joystick. With the way it's described, I understand it's more like a jet ski. Like you operate it like this. Try and drive a motorcycle or a bucking four-wheeler with one hand. You can't. You will wreck. Whatever. Anyway, Denise goes back. She knows where some of the barrels are. She convinces Else to give her a job and keep her on the ship and not punish her for running away that day. And all of that jazz, if she can go and retrieve the barrels. Now, she goes back and forth with Samira and Norden. And she eventually, once they press her for information and ask her, why are you always clean? Where are you getting all this stuff? All this blah, blah, blah. Denise is like, I gotta go. And then leaves, gets on the jet ski or whatever. And she goes and just floats to the park. And there is Iris sitting on a slide. And she's like, oh my God, it's you, Denise. And that's another thing about the water levels being inconsistent. Because how tall is this slide? Anyway, Iris is in a raft. I don't think it's a 3D printed one. And Denise is on a scooter. And Denise has a barrel. So what they have to do is, I think Iris has to ride in the raft and Denise has to drive the scooter. And Iris always asks Denise if she can hug her before she hugs her. Whatever. And then they get back to the ship. And then, I can't remember how it happens. They convince Else and the captain to let Iris on board. I don't remember the reason. I don't think it's that important. But there's 2 things that were started out that went nowhere. There's also too many people named M in this thing. Hi, Megamind. Speaking of M's. I guess I love cats as much as Denise. Oh, he sees himself. Anyway. Iris. No, stop. Iris has a really bad cough. And it is yucky. And it's from that being out there breathing comet air. Norden and Samira don't have that cough. Mom doesn't have that cough. And it goes nowhere. I guess she just gets treated by Dr. Meyer, which I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. Meijer. I don't know. I'm not from the Netherlands. But anyway, they end up getting on the ship. She has a cough. Denise is a little worried, but it's okay. She's only worried for 1 chapter. Iris has a moment where she takes a while to respond as she kind of spaces out. Denise is a little worried, but it's okay. She's only worried for 1 chapter. And then a bunch of back and forth. Somewhere along the line, Denise is like forced to go check on her mom because Iris says go check on mom. She can't be left alone at that airport. And right now at this time, I wish the mom had taken her own life because she's wandered somewhere off into the salty seawater of the airport and she's bleeding. And what does Denise do? Oh, takes her back to the couch. Iris shows up. They dress her wounds. They don't smuggle her aboard the ship at that time. They just leave her in the soggy, wet couch full of drugs. And somehow, a guy named Matthias, also with a J, got on the Generation ship. And all he's really known for outside of the Generation ship is supplying Denise's mom with drugs. So I don't know what the hell the rules are for getting on this ship, other than you should be young and fertile and have half a brain. Jesus Christ. But anyway, Iris says, hey, Denise, we need to smuggle Mom on board. And Denise is like, no, no, no. I don't want to jeopardize my spot here. I want to have babies with Max one day. And I want to have a lot of fun. And Iris is like, that's too damn bad. We need to get Mom on the ship. And so Denise goes and she gets Mom on the ship. Their plan isn't quite so foolproof because Miriam's mom, Anka, I think is how you pronounce that, sees them and is like, listen here, you little shit. What you're going to do is you're going to go to this bunker at this place and you're going to get my 9-month-old niece. I don't know how she honestly intended to get the niece from her parents, like her sister and her brother-in-law. And Denise didn't listen to the message. Anka recorded on a tab a message that would hopefully convince this unnamed niece and this brother and sister or brother-in-law, whatever the fuck, I don't care, to get on the ship. And then she goes down into the bottom bunker, which the water levels, once again, I know it's an underground bunker, right? But I think there's a bit of a steeple, like a shaft to climb down in a circular thing with just a ladder through it. Vertical tunnel, I don't know. Words are hard right now. And it seems like this vast, stretching network of tunnels. Like, there's a guy on Instagram, Lost History, IE, and holy balls, is there ever a boatload of underground tunnels and bunkers in Germany? Like, it's insane. So anyway, that's how I imagined this. And she speaks to a Polish guy. And he is like, life is hopeless, but we remain full of hope. And Denise is out here experiencing something. And she's like, why aren't they sad and crying all the time? I know I'm not sad and crying all the time because I have autism. It's like, what are you supposed to do? A friend of mine asked a while ago, how is it everybody's just going about their life as if what's happening isn't happening? It's like, what the fuck do you think we're supposed to do, my dude? You think we're supposed to cry all day? What? No. We're gonna drink. We're gonna watch movies. We're gonna indulge. This is like my 5th end of the world since like 2012. Suck it up. God. So anyway, yeah, spoiler alert. The mom and dad and the baby are not in the bunker. Where are they? Fuck you. Why are you asking? So Denise goes back and she gives that bad news. And somewhere along the line, Denise goes to meet Iris's friends. And Corinne gave the impression that if anybody was a cis-het white neurotypical, they were the devil. The absolute devil. Mom's addicted to drugs. Fuck her. Leave her in the airport. Anka, white, evil devil woman. Doesn't matter that she lost her daughter. No sympathy for her because she's evil devil woman. Else, it's found out that Else set the barrels loose for whatever reason. I can't remember the reasons. It's, you know, I'm out here like Cardi B. What was the reason? What was the reason? The reason is, fuck you. Why are you asking? But anyway, Denise notices that at this stadium, once again, inconsistent water levels, there's all the barrels. Iris lied to her and secured the barrels, found the barrels and hid them with all of her friends. And Denise goes and she drives back, and suddenly there's problems with the water scooter. And she suddenly has, out of nowhere, ignored all the times that it was making a funny noise, and she didn't tell the engineers. Oh, that's right. That's how Matthias got on the ship. He's an engineer. And I think Michelle was the engineer that died. Whatever. So somehow she deduces that Else is the one that did it. So she goes and she confronts her. She whinges at the door, whining as she goes to push on it, because, you know, we can't forget that Denise has autism manifesting in she has to have her pillowcase. She does this weird on her pants. and all this stuff. It's whatever, okay? It's fine. Anyway, she's about to get kicked off the ship, and then Max is like, hang on, wait a minute, don't get kicked off the ship, there's got to be something we can do. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. And then Iris chimes in and says, well, actually, there's gonna be some helicopters done, and they're gonna come pick us up. And apparently that was a falsehood, because Denise's job on the ship was to do the morning announcements, and that was a falsehood created by Captain Van Zandt. And that's when Max hacks into the thing. It says it was all crap. Now, I don't know if Captain Van Zandt is an evil cishet white male who's neurotypical or whatever, but he gives in to Denise at the end. Denise gets to get on the ship. Iris says, I'm going to go fight the good fight with all of my friends. See you later, sis. Enjoy your new planet with your boyfriend, Max. Read a lot of books on cats. I'm gone. And then, she gets on the ship, and she's legitimately pissed. She is so fucking pissed that her mom gets on the ship with her. Now, here's the thing. Iris and Dad are not white or cisgendered, but I do believe they are neurotypical. You're at it again, you maniac. They fucked off and left Denise, an autistic girl, with her drug-addicted mother. So I don't really think they're very good people. But this is the creator of Own Voices, so of course anybody who is not a cis-white neurotypical hetero person is the devil. So Denise is like literally pissed that Mom is on the ship, and she's like, you don't get to eat with me, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do this. And it's like, why are you mad? It's the end of the fucking world. Just forgive her. Shit. You're being a child. She's more upset that, like, she didn't have a book on cats than she is on so many other things. You menace, stop attacking me from under the chair. This is probably a very distracted video, but this is how I do things. So if you don't like it, you're not gonna watch it anyway. 40 views is what I'm shooting for. That's how the book ends. Iris is off fighting the good fight. Denise gets on the ship. Denise talks to Captain Van Zandt and says, how about we orbit for 2 years? We have enough supplies for them and everything. And I guess 10 of the barrels get to go to the people who are left on the ground and whatever. I don't remember if Anka gets kicked off. Max had a dad, but fuck, who cares? I don't remember if Anka gets kicked off or whatever. But they're just going to orbit the Earth for 2 years and then go back down. Now, let's get to my problems with this book. You remember how I brought up Deep Impact at the beginning? Deep Impact at least had some action parts. I haven't watched it since I was like 15 or something, so that's the year 2000. But I do remember the big scary wave at the end. The fucking Lily Sobieski getting all mad because she didn't want to leave her parents because she was like 17 or whatever. She got married to Elijah Wood. All the astronauts died. Apparently, Gil Bellows is not as happily married as I thought he was, and his separated wife is in that movie. See, you know, I'd rather talk about that drama that's none of my concern or my business to talk about this book. Obviously, she plays Tay Leone's sister, I guess, but whatever. There was events, memorable events, and the only reason I think I remember a lot of it is because my mom had this one weird trait of rewatching a movie 75 times a day. But it's boring. The end of the world and On the Edge of Gone, which I have said is on the edge of a plot, is boring. Denise goes back and forth to and from her apartment. By the way, Samira is a Muslim, And I do believe her and Norden are brown-skinned. So, of course, they're out there helping the world, not the white people. And then they're so kind that since they ended up jamming rebar through her arm accidentally, I mean, she wasn't affected by it, so why did they apologize and give her their water scooter? Whatever. Anyway, back and forth, on the ship, off the ship, on the ship, off the ship. And the water is not cleared up by the end. How the fuck are they taking off? What are they gonna do? Blast water somewhere? I don't know a lot about engines, but sometimes I feel like blasting off sometimes sucks things up. Friend, how does it work? What are the rules? Maybe instead of spending time just making us realize Denise has autism and really driving that point home, you could have, like, I don't know, researched rockets and shit. I mean, I grew up Mormon, so, and I got wine in my cup right now, but whatever. I grew up Mormon. I have been taught about the end of the world, end of days for some time. I think about it a lot. Probably more than a 39-year-old should. What are you gonna do? But, yeah. It gets, honestly, I think I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. And I think I might kick it down to 1. And the 1 star is because there were times where Corinne was adept at describing the scene. Sometimes it got a little bit in the way of the story, but whatever. She was adept at describing the scene. And I think I'm going to be less generous here on this video and give it 1 star than I did on Goodreads. I don't even really think it's an original idea. I think this is the deep impact to whatever's Armageddon. There's got to be better. There has to be better end of the world, comet hitting Earth books out there. I cannot, you know, honestly, let's just end with this. This is the first book in a long time where I have reviewed just it exclusively. I haven't grouped this book in with other books like I did last time, and I don't know. I do not recommend On the Edge of Gone. I do not recommend it at all. Normally I can find good things about it, more than just one thing. But no. This was hard to get through, but I powered through because I needed to make this video for you guys. Not only do I need some content just so I sort of semi-clean this room, but I had a lot to say. That's it. See ya.